That was the plan she and Samchai had been working on, and everything fell into place on July 14, 2019. That day, her husband, Noppadon, complained of an intense headache and was rushed to the hospital. The medical team immediately began tests, suspecting brain cancer. Tragically, Noppadon didn't survive. However, the doctors noticed something unusual. They became suspicious of the condition of Noppadon's heart and kidneys. Further examination revealed fluid buildup in his body, which turned out to be the actual cause of his death, not brain cancer. Hi there, and welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into another chilling real-life story that's both shocking and heartbreaking. This time, we're heading to Paxi, Laos, where a complicated case has left everyone talking. It's the story of a husband who is not only overly controlling of his wife, but also rekindled a romance with his ex, setting off a chain of events that made things even worse. What unfolded next is tied to a series of crimes that are as surprising as they are unsettling. What's the full story behind this case? Stick around as we dive deeper and uncover all the details. Before we jump into the story, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your friends. Now, let's get started. This is the story of a man named Samchai, born in 1986 in Phon Thong, Laos. Samchai joined the military in 2011 and served in several countries, including Korea and Israel. He's the eldest of two siblings, with a younger sister Wechai, who's 5 years younger and works as a police officer in Hua Si, Laos. While Samchai was the pride of his family, known for his achievements, neighbors and friends described him as arrogant, short-tempered, and controlling. During his time overseas, Samchai had a girlfriend named Chenthara. Their relationship was rocky, filled with fights and arguments, largely due to Samchai's controlling and jealous nature. Chenthara wasn't one to back down either. She was strong-willed and loved standing her ground. A fitness enthusiast and gym regular, she often clashed with Samchai's demanding personality. The long-distance nature of their relationship didn't help, and by late 2016, they broke up for good and went their separate ways. By mid-2017, Samchai returned to Laos and decided to leave the military, feeling he'd saved enough money and didn't want to risk being sent to another conflict zone. He planned to use his savings to open a fitness center, but his parents pressured him to settle down first, as he was already 31 years old. Initially, Samchai tried to reconnect with Chenthara, only to discover that she was engaged to a man named Noppadon. Noppadon worked in the petroleum industry, came from a wealthy family, and clearly had the stability that Chenthara preferred. Feeling defeated, Samchai gave up on rekindling their relationship. At the same time, his parents introduced him to Montina, a quiet and polite young woman 6 years his junior. Montina came from a modest background. Her parents had worked at Samchai's family shop. Despite their limited means, Montina had attended college for a year and even worked as a kindergarten teacher. Samchai's parents adored her and hoped she'd become their daughter-in-law. In June 2017, Chenthara married Noppadon, inviting Samchai to the wedding. Seeing his ex with someone else stirred up feelings of jealousy and frustration, though he managed to keep his emotions in check. 2 months later, perhaps out of resignation, Samchai agreed to marry Montina as his parents had suggested, even though he didn't love her. When the wedding day arrived in August 2017, Samchai invited Chenthara to his reception. Surprisingly, Chenthara seemed jealous, upset at seeing her ex moving on. The tension between the two was undeniable, though neither acted on it at the time. After the wedding, Samchai and Montina moved to the city of Paxi. His brother had suggested the area, saying it had great potential for business. Paxi was known for its industrial factories, scenic hills, and open meadows, but notably, there were no fitness centers in the area. Seeing an opportunity, Samchai rented a house and remodeled the front into a fitness center, ready to start his new venture with Montina by his side. The fitness business didn't take off as Samchai had hoped, and his frustration quickly spilled over into his marriage. Just 2 months in, Samchai's behavior toward Montina took a dark turn. Instead of treating her as his partner, he began treating her more like a servant. He forbade her from using a cell phone or staying in touch with her family. Montina was often made to sleep on the living room sofa, while Samchai ignored her entirely. As tensions grew, Samchai reached out to his ex, Chenthara, who welcomed him back with open arms. She confessed that she had only married her husband, Noppadon, for his wealth. Even worse, she admitted that after discovering Noppadon had brain cancer and needed chemotherapy, she was even more determined to marry him, believing his life would be short and she'd inherit his fortune and life insurance. Despite everything, Chenthara claimed she had never stopped loving Samchai. Their affair reignited, and soon Chenthara was regularly visiting Samchai in Paxi. She even stayed at his house, openly acting as if she were the lady of the house. Montina was forced to sleep on the sofa, and when she resisted, Samchai would beat her. He threatened her repeatedly, saying that if she ever tried to leave, he would track her down and make her pay. Over time, Montina seemed too scared to fight back or escape. Meanwhile, Chenthara treated her with open disdain, barking orders and acting as though Montina didn't even exist. By June 2019, things took an even darker turn. Noppadon's health unexpectedly began to improve, and this frustrated Samchai. He wanted to marry Chenthara as soon as possible, but with her husband still alive, their plan was stalled. That's when the two devised a sinister plot. They decided to poison Noppadon using a slow-acting, dangerous liquid that would paralyze his muscles bit by bit, eventually leading to his death. Chenthara mixed the liquid into 2 bottles of vinegar in the kitchen, planning to add small amounts to Noppadon's food each day. Their plan came to fruition on July 14, 2019. That day, Noppadon experienced a sudden, excruciating headache and was rushed to the hospital. Doctors immediately suspected complications from his brain cancer, but despite their efforts, he didn't survive. However, during their examination, the medical team noticed something unusual. Noppadon's heart and kidneys showed signs of severe damage, and further testing revealed fluid in his body that had ultimately caused his death. It wasn't the cancer that killed him. Suspicious, Noppadon's parents reported their concerns to the authorities. An investigation was launched, and police searched the house, eventually interrogating Chenthara. Under pressure, she shifted the blame to the household maid, accusing her of tampering with the food. The police detained the maid and confiscated a bottle of vinegar suspected to contain the deadly liquid. While the investigation was ongoing, Chenthara wasted no time trying to secure her late husband's fortune. The very next day, she filed a claim for Noppadon's life insurance and contacted her lawyer to discuss dividing the estate. However, her plans hit a snag when Noppadon's parents intervened, instructing the lawyer to delay everything until the police investigation was complete. On July 17, 2019, Samchai left his house to visit Chenthara. Seeing her husband gone, Montina saw her chance to escape. With no money and no idea how to get back to Fontong, she went to the nearest police station and begged for help. She couldn't even remember her family's phone number. The police decided to place her in a temporary shelter, a place usually used for homeless individuals, lost travelers, or factory workers waiting to be picked up by their families. The shelter, located about 500 meters from the station, was rarely monitored by officers. Meanwhile, Samchai arrived at Chenthara's house only to find it swarming with police and neighbors. To his shock, Chenthara's lifeless body had been found in her bathtub, drowned. Panicked and confused, he fled the scene and rushed home, not knowing what had happened to his girlfriend. But when he got home, Montina was nowhere to be found. His panic escalated. What if she had discovered his plans with Chenthara and reported him to the police? Desperate, Samchai started searching for Montina, convinced she couldn't have gone far since she didn't know the way back to her parents' house. His hunch was right. Montina was hiding at the temporary shelter. But before he could reach her, Montina spotted him and bolted, running toward a deserted industrial area. People at the shelter quickly reported the situation to the police, but it was too late. Samchai caught up with Montina on his motorcycle in the quiet industrial zone. What happened next was horrifying. Without hesitation, he shot her twice in the head, killing her instantly at just 27 years old. After the brutal act, he sped away, trying to disappear. The police launched a manhunt for Sam Chai after Montina's disappearance. 2 days later, they arrested him while he was hiding at a relative's house in Fontong. The autopsy revealed that Montina had suffered severe abuse, with bruises all over her body, confirming the history of mistreatment she endured. Facing the authorities, Sam Chai didn't deny the charges. He understood the law well enough to know that denying everything would only make his punishment worse. He admitted that he had never loved Montina. His heart had always belonged to Chenthara. His panic about Montina reporting him to the police about his abusive behavior and his conspiracy with Chenthara drove him to kill her. Sam Chai also confessed to the plot he and Chenthara had devised against Noppadan. He revealed that it was Chenthara who had been obsessed with finishing off her husband to claim his inheritance and insurance money. According to Sam Chai, it was Chenthara's idea to poison Noppadan with a dangerous liquid. He claimed he only went along with it because he wanted to leave Montina and marry Chenthara. However, he admitted that Chenthara's obsession with wealth and control had pushed the plan to deadly extremes. You might be wondering, what exactly happened to Chenthara in her bathtub? Well, no one knows for sure, but here's what the detectives believe based on their analysis. As mentioned earlier, Chenthara had used polonium liquid to poison her husband, adding it to 2 bottles of vinegar. When the police confiscated one of the bottles during their investigation, Chenthara must have forgotten about the second one stored in her kitchen cabinet. At some point, she accidentally used the poisoned vinegar in her food and consumed it herself. After eating, she decided to take a warm bath in the tub. That's when the effects of the poison started kicking in. Her muscles began to paralyze, leaving her unable to move. Tragically, she slipped beneath the water and drowned. Forensic experts concluded that her cause of death was asphyxiation from drowning. They also found her fingerprints and DNA on the vinegar bottle and the rim of the bathtub, confirming that she was the only one present during those critical moments. It was Chenthara's mother who discovered her lifeless body in the bathroom. Horrified, she ran for help, calling on neighbors before reporting the incident to the police. As for Montina's tragic fate, it sparked outrage among women in Fontong and Paxi. Protests broke out, with women demanding justice for Montina and stricter punishments for men who commit acts of violence. They called on judges and government officials to take a stand against domestic abuse and ensure perpetrators face severe consequences. Sam Chai's first trial was held in September 2021, during which witnesses from the shelter gave their testimonies. The case continued in December 2021, with Sam Chai himself testifying about the events leading up to Montina's death. While that's all the information I have for now, I'll be sure to update you if new details emerge. What lessons can we take from this story?